Hello, hello. My name is Paula, and I did a tandem read for Powerless and Powerful, and I have thoughts. I have beef with Lauren. Now, this is going to be full of spoilers, so beware if you haven't read the books. Before I start, I should read you my review of Powerless, so we are on the same page. So, this book is like Sharknado, but with a lot of sexual tension. Not amazing, but very entertaining, and you can stop reading because you need to know what happens next. Perfect to scratch the itch of a fun book that has you giggling and kicking your feet, regardless of the quality of the writing. It's just not the best book I've ever read, but good enough that I'm here wanting to yap and gossip about it. So make of that what you will. Now, the only reason I started reading these books was because everyone and their mother was obsessed with a dude named Kai. And I was like, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't tempt me with another book husband, because I will read it. I will. And I did. And if there are two things you need to know about me, one, I'm very easily entertained. Two, I'm all about the vibes. Powers, a little bit of yearning, an emo, angsty boy, a cute friendship with found family vibes, a girl with thirst for revenge, a resistance that wants to overthrow a king. Yes, please. So, first of all, doing the tandem read, a must. If you have read the books individually and you want to suffer 1,000 times more, read them in tandem, because Adina's death hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I could not stop crying.
This is so stupid. It's not that serious. It's a book. Paula, chill. The stars wink at me, welcoming me home. And on second... Stop. I refuse. She's not dead. No. This is not a goodbye, only a good way to say bye until I see you next. I'm about to...
Was it a completely unnecessary death? Yes. Authors really need to let sunshine characters just be happy and alive. They just need to let them live. Because my girl Adina, she was so sweet, so caring, such a ball of light, and she did not deserve to die. And the fact that she died just so, I guess, Peyton can like seek revenge in the second book. She's already seeking revenge for her dad's death. So I don't understand why my girl had to die. What was the reason? And especially because my beloved Mac, he already has had a shitty life, horrible family, lost Hera, and now he had to lose Adina too. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion because everyone's like, Kai this, Kai that. Oh my God, cars. Can you please can everyone die so there are no cars in the road making noise? Now, this might be an unpopular opinion because everyone's like, Kai this, Kai that, but Mac, the bloody love of my life, Mac, I don't hear enough people talking about him. And sure, Kai says darling, and darling is super hot. But honey, just run me over with a truck full of sticky buns, because that would hurt less than not having a Mac in my life. The grumpy and sunshine vibes that he and Adina had going on, so good. A lot of people don't like the novella and prefer Powerless. I think I prefer Powerful. Was it a bit cheesy sometimes? Yes, absolutely. But it was like good cheese, like freshly grated Parmesan type of shit. Like, I think with this book, I have discovered my absolute love for Grumpy Sunshine, and I will need to read more of that trope for sure. Now, should we suffer and read a little bit of my favorite parts from Powerful? When Max says, I might just crack her, seeing that I may be her worst nightmare, her opposite. And I'd be doing her a favor, really, widening her range of emotions. Get her to embrace any other feelings besides permanent, unbearable perkiness. I love that because I knew he was gonna fall in love. I was like, you're gonna love that perkiness in 50 pages. Oh, okay. This part, when Adina was cleaning Mac's arm, Mac says, so you think I'm delicate? And then my girl, Adina, says, don't you want to be handled with care? That was one of my favorite parts. I thought, it's just like, Mac has never received like this soft love, and I'm just I was literally melting. There were so many good parts when he finally says his full name. Now you can properly scold me. The whole you make the stars envious and like I literally have hearts and stars and shits drawn in. Mac making me act like a full-on 15-year-old. Then when she gives him a vest and she embroidered "See you in the sky," you know what, at that point I was starting to fear that she would die. Because I was like, this is too cute. And authors don't like cuteness, they like suffering and pain. And then when they broke her fingers, and Mac was like, they broke her beautiful sewing fingers and blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I was sobbing.
They have broken her sewing fingers. It's so sad.
Yeah, that was so heartbreaking, but so good. Loved it. Now, back to Powerless. First of all, this is not really an enemies to lovers, is it? It's more like rivals, sort of, because they don't really want to kill each other, and they help each other in literally every single trial, if I'm not mistaken. Two, people that desperately want to fuck each other. You know? And in any case, Peyton is the one that's more conflicted because obviously she hates the king because she believes the king killed her father. She hates that Kai is a prince, and she hates that he's the enforcer and his role in the kingdom. But Kai was obsessed with Peyton since the beginning. And I love that. Is it a toxic trait? Yes. The universe said, yes, bitch. Also, tell me why I'm rooting for a character that tortures and kills people. Like, yes, he's hot and broody and he's sweet with Peyton, but at the end of the day, he tortures and kills people. So why do we love him? Obviously, because it's fiction, right? Because in real life, I would not only hate him, but be disgusted by him and be like terrified of him. But because he's a book character, I'm like, okay, yes, he tortures people, but he is a tortured soul himself. So you can't judge him. And also, he has dimples, so whatever he does, immediately forgiven. And you know why we know he has dimples? because Peyton mentions it in every single one of her chapters. Even Kai mentions his own dimples whenever he's like, Peyton is looking at my dimples. Now, the tension between Kai and Peyton, they were just flirting constantly. I was blushing. Now, was I blushing because the banter was actually good? Or because I'm romance starved in my real life?
I guess we'll never know.
So yeah, I enjoyed the flirting, but it got to a point where they were just in a banter limbo and nothing was happening. This is all I have left. If they don't kiss soon, I'm gonna sue Lauren. That's it, because the tension is so much that it's honestly starting to frustrate me. Like, it was so frustrating to read. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then by the end of the book, I was like, can you please just like kiss? Because we didn't even get like an actual proper kiss. Oh my God, I was so pissed off when they got interrupted. You have no clue. I think they're finally gonna kiss. This is so cringe, but I'm eating it up. What do you mean, and then nothing? And then nothing. The whisper of a kiss. And then nothing. I guess you'll have to kiss me to find out. Okay, then fucking kiss. Shut the fuck up. Who the fuck interrupted the kiss? For me personally, I think they dragged the slow burn too much. Like when the slow burn is so slow that it never actually burns, then it's just torture. Like it's just torture. And also, I know the whole threatening Kai with a dagger thing is sexy, you know? It was sexy the first time. It was sexy the second time. By the 17th time that Peyton had a dagger on Kai's neck, I was like, girl, just make up your mind. Either stab him and kill him or don't. But like, make up your damn mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Oh my God. And the juiciest part, the love triangle. Even though it's not really even a triangle, right? It's just two arrows pointing in the same direction. I loved it. It's so frustrating to read, but it's so juicy. But it's so frustrating. But it's so juicy, especially because they are brothers. It's like, I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's just... When Kai got drunk because Peyton and Kid were dancing together and he like couldn't stand it. It's just like so like, you know? I love it. Let's talk about Kid, because I love Kid. He's so sweet and willing to see the world through Peyton's eyes and change. You know, he was just such like a chill character. Although I will say, he has seen Kai and Peyton flirt, but still he keeps like pursuing her. So these brothers, they love each other, but they have no chill. Like they both like Peyton, and instead of talking about it, they're just ignoring it and flirting with her. It's so weird, right? It's so, for me, that was weird. I was like, are they never going to talk about the fact that they both have a thing for the same girl? No, they didn't. But my favorite thing about Kit is the possibility of him becoming unhinged in the second book. Because Peyton's betrayal was his villain origin story. Me personally, I would love an evil kid. So I'm really curious to see how his character develops in the second book. Now, after fangirling a little bit, let me put on my imaginary, that's so Spanish, imaginary critical thinking hat on, okay? Let's talk about the things that I didn't like. So, the thing that I liked the least, that I usually enjoyed the most reading, were the trials. Because there were really no high stakes. Not to compare, but in the Hunger Games, they all had to die except for one, right? That was the whole point. But here, they didn't really have to kill each other. They could kill each other if they wanted to, but in order to win, they just had to do well in the trials. So I was never like on the edge of my seat reading those chapters because I knew the probability of something super like exciting happening was low. Also, the trials were a big part of the plot, but they never, what am I trying to say? They never, for example, they never explained to us what happened to the people that win each trial. They win and what? Like, do they get a reward? But we also don't know what happens to the people that lose each trial. So, for example, in the first trial, there was like a threat, right? If you can't manage to get a band, there will be consequences, blah, blah. And there never were any consequences because we didn't even learn, unless I have completely forgotten about it. But I believe we never even learned if any of them weren't able to snatch any band. And that would have been so cool to see what are the consequences. Like, do they get a punishment? Do they... So to me, that felt a bit... like it could have been so good, but it just fell short. Also, the whole winning popularity, like Peyton mentions it a couple of times, and in the Hunger Games, again, sorry, but in the Hunger Games, it makes sense because the tributes actually benefit from being popular because people pay for gifts that are vital in their survival. So if I'm not mistaken, Katniss received medicine, water, I think. So a lot of stuff that made a difference in her survival. But here, what does being popular amongst the people do? Absolutely nothing. Like it. Why was Peyton so worried about making a good impression if the truth is it doesn't really matter? Also, something incredibly stupid that really annoyed me was their hands being sticky and them not washing them. Like the first part of the book where Peyton is talking about how she has sticky buns in her pockets and her pockets are like drenched in honey and her hands are all sticky and like they just go on with their lives without washing their hands. And that's like, And the last thing that, in my opinion, made absolutely no sense was that Kai is trained by his dad, right? But he's not that much powerful than the rest of them. Like, and I like that because it makes him more relatable. But at the same time, I think it makes no sense. If he is supposed to be the enforcer, shouldn't he just like win the trials like it was just like a breeze? For him, it should be a walk in the park. But it's not. So, like, I felt that he wasn't actually that powerful, which confuses me. So, yeah. I definitely will be reading Reckless. I will. I am in no rush because I have a huge TBR, but I will be reading it, especially because I love el cotilleo. You know what I mean? I have an inner gossip and I have to know what happens next. I want to see Unhinged Kit. I want to see Kai and Peyton actually make out with tongue. And I want to see what happens with the fact that Kai was the one that killed Peyton's dad. Because I was shook by that. I was like, So anyways, those were some of my thoughts. Please rant in the comments all you want. If you have no one to talk about the books, I'm here to hear all of your opinions. Also, I love making playlists, and I have made one for Powerful and one for Powerless. So if you have any song that reminds you of any particular moment or any character, please leave them in the comments below so I can add it to my playlist. And I think that's it. Okay, well, enjoy your day, enjoy your week, enjoy the books that you're reading, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Que es un vídeo esto.